Today we are going to see about a novel which was written by Thagali Sivasankara Pillai. The name of the novel is CHEMMEEN, which was based on the Society of Fishermen, and it is adapted into the movie in English and Hindi. It is published in the year 1965. Before we enter into the summary of CHEMMEEN, let me see the short summary of Thagali Sivasankara Pillai. He was born on 17th April 1912 at Thagali, Alapi, Travancore, and he died at 10th April 1999 at the age of 69, Thagali, Alapi. His pen name is Thagali. His works were based on social aspects and he mainly focused on novels and short stories. He received many awards. In that, notable awards were Elithachan Purushokaram in 1994 and Kerala Sahitya Academy Award in 1965. He was the prolific fast writer and he known as a stark realist, tempers his realism in CHEMMEEN with a new romanticism. His works were still changing and developing. Developments such as this is a measure not only of his genius but of his character, and there can be no limits to what one might expect from a pen that is so fluent, so prolific, so inventive. Now we see the summary of CHEMMEEN novel. It consists of 20 chapters, and this was one of the first Malayalam films to be made in color. More importantly, it won the Presidency Gold Medal. CHEMMEEN was the best feature film at the National Film Awards in 1965. It was screened at both the Cannes and the Chicago Film Festival and greeted with much critical acclaim. It was adapted in Hindi as the CHEMMEEN lyric and in English as the Anger of Sea. Now we see the summary of chapter 7 in the novel of CHEMMEEN. The fisher folk waited with much eagerness. Every day in their every home the people served on boiled tapico and grill. All of them turned their eyes seawards with the same question. They asked the question with the mother of sea. Everyone have the same question, that when we will able to eat a meal, that is when they will eat a good meal, when they will eat a small pinch of food, which is rice. They know the answer of that. When the chakra season come, they can eat rice. Chemmen Kunju and Chucky was in a conversation. Chucky asked with Chemmen Kunju that we don't have a neat cloth to wear. We are wearing faded and tattered cloth. Chemmen Kunju replied, when we have a big catch, we will buy a new cloth and we will wear it. By hearing this, Kartama asked with Chucky, Kartama asked, when we have a big catch, we will save that amount and we will repay it to the Parikuti. But Chucky have some other ideas that by saving that amount, we can buy a gold. But Kartama refused that we are not happy to be wearing gold or bubbles. Only we will be happy after repaying the loan to Parikuti. Panjami, Kartama and Chucky have their own plans to repay the loan to Parikuti. Parikuti also suffered with this to repay the loan of 2000 rupees to a Muslim trader, Abdullah. Achukunju also wanted to buy a new boat and net. So he approached this with Hoshupachan. Hoshupachan also agreed with that, but he made a restriction. The Ashupachan only be a captain of that boat. In the fisherman's society, when any fisherman get into a sea, after getting a fish, when they came out of the sea, if the fishes are more than others, they are the one to ride the fish of everyone's. Like that, Chemmenkunju also get into the sea and he come out with bunches of fish. In that time, Parikutti come and ask with Chemmenkunju, "Can I have a fish?" So, Chemmenkunju replied to him that, "Pay the money of fish and you can take it. That is, give me the money for fish and you can take it." One day, many fishermen were arrived from Tirunapula. In that, most hard-worker fisherman is Palani. He get into the sea and he drives fast with his boat, and he made a charge with Chemmenkunju that who are getting more fishes and who rides fast to reach the seashore. In that challenge, Palani wins and he get into sea and he come out of the sea with bundles of fishes. Whole fisherman societies were starving at him that how could he get this much of fishes? That time, Chemmenkunju was lost with his raids and Palani raids his fishes. Chucky and Chemmenkunju was in a conversation. Chucky asked Chemmenkunju to invite Palani to his. Chemmenkunju also agreed with this. One day, many fishermen went to Tirupuna, but Palani didn't go. Palani slept under the coconut palm. This was saw by the Chemmenkunju. Chemmenkunju asked with Palani that why he didn't went to Tirupuna to see their families. Palani replied to Chemmenkunju that he never have any family. Chemmenkunju invites Palani to have a lunch in his hovel. Palani also accepted this invitation. Both Chemmenkunju and Palani had their lunches in Chemmenkunju's hovel. While having their lunch, Chucky was conversation with Palani. Chucky asked with Palani that, "Who are you? Who is your father and who is your mother? And where you stay and where you will go after this, and what you do with this money, and who will take care of you in the future?" Palani replied, he never have a family, that is, he never have a father and mother. His father died when he was very young, and her mother also. When he was matured, he began to work with boat captains. And he says he have a small hovel and he makes all his money to fulfill his life. Chucky make a proposal with Palani that she is ready to give her first daughter to marry with you. Palani accepted it. After Palani left, Chemmenkunju said to his wife that Palani never asked any dowry with us. And they both continued their conversation that he was very good and he was a good hard worker. Now we see the summary of chapter 8. Kartama didn't like to marry the Palani, so she asked this with his mother Chucky. She refuses to marry him because Parikutti began to a Muslim man, that is, he is a higher class man and we cannot match with them. So Chucky asked Kartama to forget him. But Kartama says, "We will marry to Palani only after repaying the money to Parikutti, or else I won't get married to him." One day, both Parikutti and Kartama were met under the coconut palm tree. They were their conversation. Kartama began her conversation that she will repay the loan. For that, Parik replied that it was not her responsibility, it was the responsibility of her father. Parikutti added his conversation that you didn't take any money from me. That Karatama says, I was the one to repay your money back. Karatama, with full of tears in his eyes, she says, I will repay your money and after that I will get off from you and I will marry to someone. While hearing this, Parikutti says, you want to cut off our ties. While by hearing this, Karatama didn't that she went away from him. Parikutti stand for some time and he went off. Both Chucky and Karutama were collecting money to repay the loan of Parikutti. In the big catch season, Chamban Kunju went to the sea to speak with the fisher folk by keeping his money in the box in the boat. By knowing this, both Kartama and Chucky stolen the amount which was kept in the box. They stolen 20 rupees per day. This was enough for them to repay the money to Parikutti.